Hit it.
Hit it?
Yeah.
Oh. Hello, it's Jennifer McIntosh from the Big Pink Chair and my partner,
Jamie Elspie.
Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about where we came from, and my story begins here in Braxton Bray, I believe the condo is called, and we'll tell you about that in a minute. But for now, please subscribe below. Jamie's going to tell you how.
Just make sure to hit the button below, and then you can hit the little ringing bell, and that will make sure to let you know when we've released new content. We release new content every Monday that's going to be packed full of information all about the real estate industry and life here in Calgary.
In 1997, my boyfriend at the time, he was going to university. He was starting in September. I had a really great job actually working kind of full-time, part-time at a show home, and I was going to university myself. And so we decided we could afford our first home, which happened to be a condo. And so we looked at, I don't know, 27, 28 places, it felt like. Might have only been 12, who knows. We went to kind of all the southern communities because we wanted to be close to his family. We knew that. We knew we wanted 2 bedrooms because we had my family that came in from out of town. And beyond that, we didn't have a lot of criteria. So we started looking at apartment condos, and I realized that we were already currently living in an apartment, and moving to another apartment didn't actually kind of feel very sexy to me. So we decided to look at something like this. It was like a little duplex type of a condo. This particular unit had all the bedrooms in the basement, which was a bit weird at the time, but it worked really well for us. Upstairs there was a little living room with a potbelly stove, which was fun. Kitchen was really off the kind of at the back, which had lovely little views, and we were backing onto 24th, which at the time was not very busy, so it was kind of private. We moved in, and that was amazing. And at the time, like I said, I was working for a builder, and that was just around the time where the market crashed, if you remember. So 2 weeks after we moved in, I went back to work after painting the inside and doing the cabinets and doing a little refresh of the home to get laid off. So we were both in school, and neither of us had jobs. It was absolutely terrifying. But it was probably the best thing that ever happened, because one of the things that we realized is that if you had rented a home in that time period and that had happened to you, the devastation probably would have left me on the couch, and I wouldn't have done very much except to wallow in self-pity for a while. But because we had a mortgage, it sort of forced me to get things going. And from that, my career started in new home sales. I actually went to work for a company called Heartland Homes, and they spent 18 really amazing years with me. So in the grand scheme of my life, the worst thing that happened for me at that time became the best thing that came from my life. So I was very pleased looking back. The other thing that I think is really funny, Jamie and I were in the car on the way over here, and we were talking about how much we paid for the home. So at the time, I think I paid $57,000 for this. I go back in time just because I like to see what it's worth now, and we look today, and I think the last home sale here at this particular unit was $221,000. So it just goes to show you that over time, like RSPs, like anything, real estate does improve and prices do get better. So we're in a marketplace right now that's not great, but you hold something long enough and it ends up winning out in the end. So I think the moral of that story was hold, buy and hold. If you can't buy and hold and you end up making big money, it's time to go. So it's great real estate advice that way. The other thing I would say is really we had the best agent. Jamie bought her home without an agent. At the time, we had a lovely lady named Sharon Weir, and she was absolutely fantastic to work with. She showed us a million homes, was very patient, walked through everything we needed to do, and so I felt like at the end we never made any real mistakes. We bought the home for the right reasons, we sold it for the right reasons, and it was a really great experience overall. But again, real estate agents versus non, I think go real estate every time. There's always somebody there to give you a watchful eye, give you some tips on what you might not be thinking about, help you read over the documentation, because as a first-time buyer, it's really overwhelming. You don't really know what you're getting into. So we were really grateful for Sharon at that time, which is kind of why now what we do, Jamie and I like to look at it like I'm taking over that legacy. I want to be a hand holder to people, and I want to be able to guide you in that same way that she did for us. So it was really, I feel like it was a natural fit for me too. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you soon. Hey friends, Jennifer here from the Big Pink Chair.
Did we say the big pink chair last time? We did a few times.
I think we
I'll
did.
have to use one of those cuts.
I think we did.
Okay. Woo.
Big pink chair! We're the big pink chair! The biggest pink chair? Well, that sounds weird. We've got a pretty big pink chair. That is really gross. That sounds really gross. Anyway, we are here.
Hi.
The big pink chair. Like, in all seriousness, it's not the biggest pink chair, but it's pretty big. We have two of them, actually. She has one and I have.
We're gonna change our branding to the two big chairs.
What are they supposed to do?
Hit the notification bell so that you know when we, because we're hilarious, have released new videos, because you're gonna want to watch them.
Absolutely. Or not. Maybe you'll watch 30 seconds, but try it anyway.